Welcome to our YouTube viewers. I hope you are having a great time. I've been missing you. Hopefully we get to see many more videos in this year. So Magic Arena should be hitting the stores soon, and maybe we can check out how is it going to be. But for the time being, we are going to keep doing some duels, and I want to make a series of, well, I don't know how many, but a few decks revolving around the Grizzled Angler. It was asked in the comments to make a deck about this card. It's a very sophisticated card, pretty interesting. It's a 3 mana with blue 2/3 creature human. That is a two-sided card. We can tap to put top 2 cards from the library in the graveyard, and if we have a colorless creature in the graveyard, then the card flips into the Grizzly Anglerfish. It's a 4/5 body, pretty impressive, and by paying 6 we can force the opponent creatures to attack us if able. So that's a very cool ability, but quite expensive and very dubious to use. But there are many ways that we can exploit this. But today we are just going to focus on the front side of the card, and we're going to use the Grizzled Angler to help the zombie decks. So the zombie likes to go to the graveyard and return from there, so this deck is about that. And the Grizzled Angler is going to just give a hand to that, but it's not the center of the deck. So let's see what zombies we're carrying. Crypt Breaker, one of the best ones. 1/1 mana for 1 1/1 for 1 mana. Yeah, it has activated ability. By paying 2 and tapping, we can discard a card and create a 2/2 token, and also we can tap 3 and tap zombies to draw a card and lose a life. The draw is a drawback, but we get to lose life, or the other way around if you prefer. Then Dread Wanderer, 1 mana 2/1. It's a zombie that enters the battlefield tapped, but most importantly we can pay 3 to return the Dread Wanderer from the graveyard straight to the battlefield. So if this is in the graveyard, we can make sure that we recover him. There's a clause: we can only do so if you have at most 1 card in hand, and only as a sorcery. Then we have Sanitarium Skeleton. Maybe we could add more of this, but this is great. By paying 3 we can recover the Sanitarium Skeleton from the graveyard straight to our hand. Then 1 copy of Vampiric Rites, 1 mana enchantment that can be used to sacrifice creatures for life and drawing more cards. Graph Harvest, 1 mana enchantment again, but gives menace to all our zombies, making our zombies that are already scary much more dangerous. And we can even pay 4 to exile creatures and turn them into zombie tokens. Then we have 2 copies of Screeching Scab to populate our graveyard. When this enters the battlefield, we get our 2 topmost cards into the graveyard. 1 copy of the Scrap Heap Scrounger, the 1 colorless creature that we have in this deck that could be used to flip the Angler. 1 copy of Shadows of the Past. Whenever a creature dies, including the opponent's or ours, we get to scry 1. And if we have 4 or more creatures in the graveyard, we can pay 5 to gain some life and make our opponent lose some. Open into Wonder, a wonderful spell. X target creatures can't be blocked this turn, and whenever this creature deals combat damage, we get to draw a card. So this card is pretty amazing for both effects. Then 3 copies of Grizzled Angler, because we want to showcase the guy. Maybe at some point we get to flip him and activate the ability, but I don't think that's going to happen in this deck, but the option is there. But mostly you're going to help populating the graveyard. 2 copies of Prized Amalgam. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield from the graveyard or the cast from the graveyard, we can return the Prized Amalgam from the battlefield to the from the graveyard to the battlefield. So why only 2? Well, because there's the maximum number allowed in the game. Bummer, but this is the main card in the zombie deck, because it's very hard to remove this card. It takes some exile spell to make this one stop showing up. Then Liliana, the Last Hope, because zombies. Drew Now, Corpse Troller. This looks like a bad choice here, 4 mana for a 1/1 body, but it's going to make a 2/2 token, and by paying 3, 2 and a black, we can give Death Touch to target zombies. So if we have 9 mana, maybe we can force the creatures from the opponent to attack us and give some of them Death Touch and kill annoying creatures. But it's a wishful thinking there. But we want to make spicy moves. Then we'll have 2 copies of Laboratory Brute, a 4 mana 3/3, a decent body, but also it's going to put the top 4 cards of the library in the graveyard when this enters the battlefield. And also we need some cards in the graveyard after all that we might want to exile or use for some other reason. Now this is amusing, 2 copies of Oval Chase Daredevil. These cards we are never going to want to cast. We just want them to be discarded into the graveyard, and then whenever an artifact enters the battlefield we get to return this to our hand, and then we can discard the guys again, and so on. 3 copies of Haunted Death, a zombie that from the graveyard we can pay 2 and discard 2 cards to return the guy to the battlefield, tapped, but also accompanied by a 1/1 spirit creature with flying, which is one of the greatest weakness in the deck is the flyers. Then Giza Angralf, the best card by far in this archetype, I guess. So it's a legendary creature for 4 mana, you get a 4/4, a pretty impressive body, but also we can cast the zombies from the graveyard as if they were in our hand once each turn, but anyways still impressively strong. 2 copies of Thopter Spy Network, because we want to be drawing cards, but also we want to have artifacts for our Oval Chase Daredevils, for discarding with the Haunted Death and so on. So we want the artifacts. Then 1 copy of Desert Schemer, mostly for the same reason that we have the Thopter Spy Network, but also the Desert can ramp us a little bit, which is nice, and sometimes he gets to remove some creature. That could happen sometimes, but we are not going too heavy on the artifacts, but it's a secondary theme here. Then 2 copies of Advanced Stitchwind, similar mechanic to the Haunted Death, but it's a larger body, but it does not spawn any token. But regardless, is a very good zombie to have in the graveyard. And Liliana Death Majesty, because the synergies are so strong. With the +1 creates a 2/2 token and puts 2 cards in the graveyard. The -3, the most relevant here in case we need to recover an important creature. I'm talking to you in this graph. This is the best target for Liliana. Sometimes other cards, and the ultimate ability can be used in some matches, but there are so many zombies out there that most of the time we don't want to activate, even go to the ultimate. 1 copy of Gearhulk, which is an artifact, but is a very good artifact that can provide us with removal, life gain, and has menace, so it does a lots of things for us. And Sahilis Artistry to create 2 artifacts. It should be able to create 2 artifacts in case we need. And 1 copy of Never, another removal spell, but it has the virtue that if this goes to the graveyard by accident, we still have the return that can be cast from the graveyard to create a 2/2 token, and also exile a pesky card, a problematic card can be removed from the graveyard. Then mana base a bit awkward here because there's a high risk of us dropping our lands into the graveyard. So we are running a lot of duels here, 2 sunken hollows, 2 drowned catacombs, 2 submerged boneyard. This enters tapped. We also have 2 drowned yard temple. This has an activated ability from the graveyard too. By paying 3 we can return this to the battlefield tapped. It's a very slow play, but sometimes it's worth. And finally 3 mortuary mires to recover our cards from the graveyard. So let's go right from here to find some opponent. Let's see how is it going to fare. To be honest, this deck does not look that great. I think it's a very fun deck to use, but it has too much weaknesses, especially against some exile effects. We are pretty much doomed. We don't have enchantment removal, and our creature removal is quite limited. But this hand, if we had another black, it would be amazing hand. But we have Grizzled Angler, which is the best card to have. I think we keep this and hope for the best. It's a pretty risky one because we cannot cast any of our cards as it is if we don't find a land. Well, we did find the land, so at the very least, if we make it to turn 4, we have Grizzled Angler going on, or even the Oval Chase Daredevil, which we don't really want to play, but maybe. Okay, now this is not that awful. This is 2 bodies in 1 card, and this one is easy for the opponent to kill. So if he has some removal, it's better to be spent on this guy. So this is a nice target for the Never. So we have the Mortuary Mire. We can play an island, do nothing, play the Mortuary Mire, do nothing, or drop. I guess we drop. We are going to going for Grizzled Angler next turn, maybe, and save Mortuary Mire to recover them from the graveyard. They are 2. So cool looking card. Opponent already out for mana. He's playing zombies too. So the other Liliana ultimate is going to do nothing. We take 2. Opponent plays a second Lord of the Accords, which for some reason he played after attacking. Let's not ask why. Well, I think I like going. I need somebody. We could do the Never, but I think it's better to start forcing the opponent to spend cards here. Now let's see. Whoa! Well, we've lost 3 lands, which is not great, but at least we are not going to be flooding. Whoa. Well, we can now activate Haunted Dead next turn, or we could choose to use Mortuary Mire too. We can cast the zombies from the graveyard too. A 3rd Lord of the Accords. This is one of the cards that we could use in our deck. So here we are taking 8. Should I block? Maybe it's better for me to block here, because next turn the Lord can activate this ability to give menace to the guys. I think it's about time we do Never. Goodbye, one of the lords. Mortuary Mire put up the Giza and Geralf on the top of our library, so that's the card we are drawing next. By killing one of the lords, we have reduced the damage strongly, but no, that's the one card that we are not going to be able to overcome. I think it's over, guys. The Kalitas is too rough for us. Okay, a game over, I guess. Well, we never know, but too bad. Well, we have the Noxious Gearhulk in the graveyard. If we can pull that one out, then maybe we have a chance, but to recover the Gearhulk, we need something. We need to find something. Maybe Liliana, but it's going to be difficult. Cartouche. Yeah, okay, and here we are dead if we don't block. You. So, what to do here? Well, I don't think I want to trade the Giza here. It's not going to save us, preventing the damage. I think we are losing anyways, but maybe. Tesseret. Can Tesseret be better than Liliana here? I hardly doubt that's the case. We could shrink something, but doesn't look appealing. Let's try to get the Gearhulk up. And we are going to lose all our cards in our opponent's next attack. So bad. And he can even eat his guys to make Kalitas larger. So after all, our starting hand was pretty bad for this game. But well, we still haven't died. But I don't like our chances here. No, do not Angelic Purge. No! Now it's over. No matter how we block here. Okay. So, well played, opponent. Well played. Let's try again. I guess we could say that the initial hand was too clunky for this matchup, but it was a risk that I wanted to take. Let's see if we have a better luck here. On the other hand, the opponent was running more than 60 cards and found the triple lords of the Accords in no time, and the Kalitas, which is the strongest counter to our deck, is the Kalitas card. Yeah, there are many exile effects in the game, but the strongest one for us is the Kalitas. Ouchies. We could maybe, if we have drawn into our Noxious Gear Hulk, maybe we could have do something different. Okay, focus on the current game. Let's see, opponent's place first. Opponent plays first. We have this again is a quite slow hand, but I don't want to risk going lower than. Yeah, I think I want to keep this. Again, this hand is a high and risky one, but we have a priced amalgam to play on turn 3. Stop the Spade Network as a follow-up. The Spade Network doesn't do much if we don't get some artifact going on. So let's start with this Boneyard. It's going to enter tapped no matter what. Come on, opponent. Double red, Bombat Courier. This could be a mono red deck for the cards that we've seen so far, but no 2-mana plays. But now we see a Goblin, which is a strong indicator of a mono red deck, double red in the cost. And we've just draw another land, which is less than optimal. On the bright side, the priced amalgam can easily block the Ember Howler, even if the opponent chooses to blow up the amalgam. Now that we see black, I'm much more concerned. Siege modification, no. The 4-1 with first strike, this is horrible now. We are taking 6 in this turn, and the opponent is going to have 3 cards. Well, I think I have to start mulligan. No! Oh boys, my mulligans are becoming very, very bad. So we could use Liliana to take care of the Bombat Courier here. Let's see. And the presence of black here scares me because, yeah, that's one of the things. And also Act of Treason effects. If we don't get a creature to play next turn, we are dead. If we get a creature next turn, we can still get killed by the Ember Howler. Yeah. Well, 3 drawing nothing but lands is really bad. As you can appreciate, but maybe it was my fault. I think I shouldn't have kept that initial hand after all. I got too greedy. Okay, sorry guys, sorry about that. But, come on, you have to play better. The deck has cards. Oh, maybe I'm using that deck that is only lands. Yeah, nah, not really. So let's meet again another opponent that I have the feeling that is another aggressive deck. Let's see if my suspicions are right. 100 cards. I don't like to see a deck with 100 cards. It makes me feel uncomfortable. So Crypt Breaker is excellent. It's actually one of the best zombie cards. Too bad that there is a limit of 2 copies in the deck. Yeah, anyways, let's see. 100 cards. Show me something spectacular. Green and white. Canopy Vista. Oh, So far we can't tell much about that. We could either play Shadows of the Past, attack, but I think I better leave the mana up so I can discard something. Maybe I discard the skeleton so we don't give up what we are going for. And the skeleton can be recovered from the graveyard anyways. There we are. So either of these lands are going to enter tapped. Attack with this zombie. Should I Shadows of the Past? Importantly, if you want Shadows of the Past active, you have to play it as soon as possible. But I think that here getting our third zombie is going to be better, so we can at least draw one time. Oath of Gideon, making 2 tokens and improving the future planeswalkers. Go Amalgam to the graveyard. Well, we have Mortuary Mire, which I don't really want. I could discard the Corpse Troller here, or maybe play Shadows of the... Let's play Shadows of the Past here. Yeah, I think that there were options to be made here. We can have an additional token by discarding one of our cards. Then we can tap 3 of our tokens to draw a card. We can draw before and see if we find something cool to play, but we want to have blockers against these allies. And if the opponent has Nahiri right now, it's going to be bad for us if we tap down before the opponent's turn. So let's see. Nahiri is the best planeswalker for the opponent would be Nahiri. He's making lands, nothing to be worried about. No attacks, I presume, but we are going to be drawing something. Tap 3 zombies and get 1 card. Dread Wanderer, one of the cards that we might want to discard. Oh, this is so great. Well, we want to have Liliana out ASAP, so question will be to drop Mortuary Mire. What to do here? I guess let's send this to the graveyard, but we want to draw this card. Do we really want that card? I guess so. It's not awful. There we go. We could play the Dread Wanderer, but I guess it's going to be better to send the Dread Wanderer to the graveyard. So let's see. No attacks. Maybe it was a mistake, but I want to draw a card, so I'm going to leave these tokens on defense, and let's hope the opponent doesn't get Nahiri. Anytime soon he can do the -7. Let's hope the opponent does not do it soon. There we go. corpse troller. Yes, I think to this Liliana is going to be better to take all those tokens one by one. So let's send an attack against the Nissa. We can be meeting some instant speed removal against these tokens, but I don't know. Maybe jump, jump, and jump. Okay. So Nissa lives. We get to scry. Oh, you. Let's keep it in top. 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 Because we want to play that card. We have 2 Lilianas in our hand, which is pretty fantastic. Goodbye, core ally. Now, this Liliana is much easier to get to have her emblem. Yeah, it really is. So, if the opponent cannot answer our Liliana, maybe we get that sweet emblem that in our deck is going to be amazing. We get X zombies each end step. Okay. So discard. We're going to discard Dread Wanderer. Why? Because we don't want the amalgam to show up later on. We can scry 5 times. Is there anything better that we want? Well, we want the Giza and Graf. Let's try to find the Giza and Graf. No. Oh, never. Yeah, let's skip never to remove a programmatic planeswalker. Yada yada. +1. So do we care for Nissa? He could do the -7. I guess our opponent is playing with 100 cards. I think we better remove the threats that we can see first. Now with the shadows of the past, we want to find Giz and Graf. It is true that I could have kept the fisherman on the top, the Grizzled Angler man. Another Nissa comes along. Maybe the opponent has the 3 Nissas up there. This one is much better than the other. But she's not flipping. Never. No. Our Liliana. Liliana. Dang. Swamp is very good. And Liliana. What do we have here? Well, we can pull up the Crypt Breaker, and I guess we can wait. So if the opponent flips Nissa, then we have something that can target her. And we found the Stitch Wind, which is very good for us. We have 6 mana, which is pretty decent. We don't need more lands at this stage. Of course, we are not going to complain, but we don't want to get flooded. There goes Nissa, and he's going to +1. We get to see the card that the opponent draws. It was just a land. there's a high chance for the opponent to be running Ulamog. So we have to close the game as fast as we can. There goes another land. Let's first attack with the token. So I expect the Thopter to block. And we get to scry 1. So how much mana do we have? There we go. Scry price amalgam to the top, which means that it is better for us to create a token here, and so much to do. Oh, so cool. But I guess we are going to bring this one up. Drop this and have the Stitch Wing. It's going to enter the battlefield tapped. Now there's a very important aspect for the priced amalgam. It is at the beginning of the next end step, which means we have to be very wary of how do we do this, because we can miss the timing. So we are going to do this right now. We're going to have a very decent board now, and also we have activated the Shadows of the Past. We can even do -7 on Liliana here, but perhaps we should not yet. We lose our Liliana if we do so. Let's see what we draw, and we are going to decide after that. Haunted Death. Okay, let's ultimate Liliana here. So this Omnath is very dangerous. It's going to do the Evolving Wilds, answering that. He gets another elemental token, and with the tokens die, so Omnath can deal 3 damage. So we are going to be scrying a lot if he goes for our creatures. Well, these are not the best targets, opponent, but anyways. At least he saves Nissa. No. No. We want Gisangraf. Maybe we want this one on top. No. Let's keep looking. We have 3 more scries. No. No. Last scry. No. Anyways, let's take a little bit of hits here. Confirm the attack. Well, I guess we can return the skeleton, but we don't have the Haunted Death, so instead we go Dread Wanderer. There we go. And now the priced amalgams are going to return. Maybe now let's keep that one in hand, just in case we end up dropping something in the graveyard and we need to discard. So now the opponent could maybe have another language. He could use return, probably is not a bad idea against, say, the other return from ours. No! The Shadows of the Past. You bastard. They killed Shadows of the Past. Oath of Chandra. It's going to be dealing 3 damage on... Please, this one. Yeah, but it's going to kill the Praised Amalgam, I know it. Gear Hulk on the Flyer. Which it was expected, that's the reason that I wanted to have cards in hand. There we go. Yeah, me too. Reclamation Sage. So attack with 3. Yeah, let's. I guess 3 should be enough. 1 goes face. Perhaps I should have sent 2 amalgams to Nisa. Now, I guess we want this one on the battlefield now that we have lost our enchantment. And bring back Dread Wanderer. There we go. Ah, the amalgams keep coming. Come on. The opponent needs to exile this 2. Maybe he has Declaration in Stone or Ulamog. Whoa, that one is huge. Draw cards equal to the greatest power and is foiled. So he draws 5 cards and he can cast a 5 mana Planeswalker, I presume. Oh, Temidius Journal. That one is pretty scary. If he gets 3 clues, then he can search the card he wants, which is Uyulamog, I guess. Radiant Flames. Wiping the whole board except the Noxious Gearhawk. But guess who is coming back? Mortuary Mire. Well, we can recover this Crypt Breaker. But I think we want the Stitchwing here. Nah, not yet. Let's wait. Oh, so much mana, that's so scary. On the other hand, we are about to find Giza. Pause. Collected Defiance. Pause the game. There we go. You. So he's discarding his hand. So whoa. Ishkana. Eye from the Call. Pretty damn scary. Given the never. Doesn't matter. Land grows. So what to do here? I guess we go with this. and drop the skeleton. Okay. Let's exile the other. Maybe Ishkana is a good idea to exile. I imagine the opponent has the Green Gordon of Mirasa. Okay, let's. But if he does, he does. Should I attack? I have 2 blockers. But if the opponent has another Radiant Flames, it's not going to matter. So I think we attack with 2, leave up enough toughness to deal with the Gear Hulk, but I don't think it's going to really matter here. And the opponent also has the Quagmire now. He can attack us with that. The one card that I hate in this deck is this one, Reclamation Sage. You, Reclamation Sage. I don't like you at all. Rootbone Crack, alright. The Gear Hulk. And of course we have to let the opponent draw. Because we are at 5 health. He is running a decent amount of... Oh no! The one card that we don't want. Well, good thing I left 2 more blockers up. Dang it. Well, at least we get to draw. Let's see if we can do something in this game. Ugh! Yeah, of course. 2 Reclamation Sages. Yeah. And we keep drawing more lands. Actually, let's draw. Let's see what it is. I should have drawn before, but it really does not matter. We can activate this, only play remaining here. But okay, let's do one more. I hate losing against the Reclamation Sage. That's the one thing that ticks me off. I don't mind it. The deck the opponent runs is pretty funny. High risk, 5 colors. He found his good cards on the top. But the Reclamation Sage, come on. Well, final game. Final one. Let's see if we can win at least once. Playas. Well, not the greatest of the hand, but we're having so many issues with lands that we should expect to draw 1 land to drop the Angler on time. We have to have faith on this guy. This is the whole point of the deck, to have an excuse to play the Grizzled Angler, so I'm going to have faith in you. Then if we can send the Haunted Death to the graveyard, it's going to be great. And we also have Open into Wonder, which is a very nice one. if we have a board. But come on, come on, yeah, good. This is shaping up nicely, but the opponent is running white, the color that has the most access to most exile spells, as we saw last time with the declaration in stone. Now check this out. This is like the design of the prized amalgam. Doesn't it look like Iron Man? What is this in the chest? Okay, I think we are going to play this, which is going to look harmless for the opponent. Then if we maybe send a copy of some Haunted Dead to our graveyard, then we can drop 2 prized amalgams down there. So that could be a very good thing. Of course, we risk sending the planeswalkers or the enchantments to the graveyard, and we don't have the Green Guardian of Miraza to recover them. Opponent with 3 mana and doing nothing yet. Elvenwald Mysteries, so looks like a token deck of sorts. So hopefully not more tokens than ours. I guess since the opponent is not going to be attacking us, hopefully we do this before combat, and we'll effectively lost our planeswalker. That is really lame. Arrgh. That's a big pity, but perhaps we can take something from the opponent to our, make a copy of something from the opponent that can help us here. We could draw with, we can pay X equal 2 next turn. Maybe it's better to do so. What? Declaration in stone on, well, at least that one served for something. Thank you for that clue. Now there's no questioning here. We have to play the Spy Network, and the opponent has reclamation. I know that the opponent has Reclamation Sage because he runs Declaration in stone. That's why, and he's going to spend the Sage on either one of these 2, which I don't mind at all, and then we can maybe copy his Reclamation Sage. Now, oddly enough, the opponent saw a threat in the Grizzled Angler instead of a threat in the Haunted Dead, which maybe it's understandable if maybe the opponent figured that we were trying to do something with the other side of the card, but we're going to see. Okay, Elvenwald Mysteries, what are you going to do? Retreat. So I think that the opponent is playing the Anointed Procession deck. These 2 enchantments are meant to make tokens. 5 mana. Let's attack with these 2. I guess we use the clue here. Yeah, maybe we find a nice zombie that we want to play, a cheap one. Well, indeed, but we cannot afford to play this one right now. Opponent already at 14. If he plays Tireless Tracker and a land, he gets a lot of action. Let's see if he has those in hand. No explosive, but explosive gives the opponent 2 1/1s. Now, when the tokens die, they do not produce the clues. When the clues are used, they give the opponent a 1/1. So I'm going to offer the trade for sure here. There we go. Attack with everybody. We get to draw 1 card because of the Thopter spy network. And please kill the Haunted Dead. Come on, double block. You know you want to do it. Go ahead, double block. Yeah, that's right. Mostly appreciated. Thank you very much. Now, even if the opponent has a planar outburst, this is still going to be great. Let's do the Brute. 4 more cards are going to get dropped into our graveyard. Well, now we could be looking forward for the advanced stitching. But let's wait and see what is the opponent attempting to do here. And opening to wonder, I think it's game over. We have 3 flyers, and we're going to have the 2. Yeah, we're going to have another flyer, a 2/2, and 2 more 3/3s, and we can make 4 unblockable ground creatures plus all the flyers, unless the opponent finds the worm convergences. He's going to die, or he could have planar outburst, but we still get our board back. That's not going to do it. Let's see. Opponent, is he going to play it for 5? Even if he gets 5 lands, he receives 5 1/1s. No, he went for the Hydra boss. Activate this guy. Drop these 2 amalgams. We want to do this before the game skips to the end step. And even if we didn't have the opponent to wonder, I think we still have it. We can duplicate this 6/6 if we want to. Okay, now we can make another one unblockable, one more unblockable creature. 5. You, all the ground ones. Yeah. Well, I spent more mana than I really needed to, but this is cool. So thank you, opponent. Woohoo! Alright, I hope you have enjoyed. Next time I want to make a deck with the Grizzled Angler, but trying to go another route. Maybe we can use the flip side of the card. So until next time, sayonara!